What's going on, everyone? It's Ed Zoller with Lee County Market Update.com. Teachers Come Buy Homes and Villa Realty Group with your April 1st for March market update for Southwest Florida real estate. I am promising to keep these videos a lot shorter. Obviously, you can download these, the actual PowerPoint that goes in more detail each slide. I'm kind of going to skip some of those that you have to read and kind of explain the graphs, what they mean, and everything else. So let's get to it. So our supply for March, a couple interesting things here. We did hit our 10,000 home mark in Lee County, 10,000 things you can buy in real estate. And you can see that the last time we had that happen was it was actually February of 2019. And that's actually was the highest that we had since we had all the foreclosures in 2010 and 11 that obviously flooded our market to the tunes of a couple tens of thousands of homes that were out there for sale. The interesting thing for March though is if you look at the graphs, the three peaks in 17, 18, and 19, those peaks are February. So every time we hit March, the inventory has gone down slightly, about 2%. But this month, this year, we went up 2%. So although it should have gone down, it actually went up. We are actually the seventh fastest growing county in the country. First is Port Charlotte. It's adding 149%, but we have a 97% increase in inventory year over year, which makes us the seventh fastest growing in inventory. That means more buyers, more competition. So that is promising for buyers that there is more competition out there to choose from. As far as solds go, and the peaks here of each little peak that I have on the graphs show you March, and that is when the demand is at its highest. And you can see there in 2021, we had over almost 3,000 homes sell in Lee County. But as you can see, then in March, in 2022, in March, we peaked out just above 2,500. The next time we right around 2,000, and now 1824. So although we had the uptick that we normally see with a March, that people are coming down, this is our busiest month of the year for demand. This is when the most buyers end up closing on their homes. And so if everything goes the way it normally does, then April demand will go down again, but our inventory is going up. So a couple things that, so yes, a huge increase in demand. I already saw an article on Yahoo that demand is up. Go buy a home right now. It's a buyer's market. Go go go. And I'm like, it fell 3% short of the normal upticks we see in March. Just means that this season is probably going to be a bust as far as all the buyers coming in. And why is that? Because affordability. You can see in 2006 and 2007, the houses with the interest rate, the average price, and the monthly payment far exceeded 46% of the gross income of what people were making in Lee County. And although this is a graph that is going down in 2024, we're still at 40%. So, so it came down almost a percent from 41 to 40, but 30s are still too pricey, as you can tell from 2016, 17, 18, 19. The highest we ever hit was 24% until COVID happened. Our inventory depleted and our prices soared. Long-term average is at 26%. Of course, that long-term average takes in consideration 40 and 46%. But we know what people make in Lee County. Census is great for that data. Every month they show, and that actually went up to $74,161. So if we multiply that by the 26%, 24%, then that means mortgages need to go back to 1,600, and that's not where they are right now. They at least aren't $3,000 anymore. But normal house that I'm seeing, quotes that I'm getting in the month of March, 25, 26 is where homes are, and as you can tell here, it's $1,000 too much. Our average home price, the last graph, the graphs I was showing you was really just going year by year, and I was just changing the last data entry for 2024, so that's why the graph looked weird. This actually shows month to month for the last 25 years of what home values have done, and you can see a very much more stretched out and curvier graph The orange graph shows the long time, the 25-year average of 200 and I think 20,000 as a flat line, just so you can compare current pricing to what that line is. And as you can tell from 2015 all the way to almost 2020, 2021, it's followed that long-term average very well. Obviously, in our foreclosure crisis and houses were 80 to 100 grand, we fell well short of that 220. And then in the boom, when we overpriced ourselves in '05, you can see where the graph went up from that. Our prices did go down 1%. Now that doesn't sound like a lot. What's that, 4 grand? The average home lost 4,000 down to 389 now. But 1% times 12 months, that's a 12% decrease. In this case, that would be over $40,000 of more price drop if it keeps this rate. Problem is, it doesn't keep this rate. It might escalate, it might go down. And if you're thinking that inventory is going to keep going up and demand's going to go down, then this will continue to drop at a faster rate like it did in 2006 to 2011. So this is kind of, as we're losing, we have -1%, -0.4, -0.2. What I really like to show people is when this graph crosses zero, that is the year that we are going to stabilize. Now, it does look like it's close to zero. -1's not great, but we're only about 8-9 months into this downturn of home pricing. So I've been more using this to track the consecutive months of loss. And right now we are at 8 consecutive months. The last crash was 59 consecutive months of loss. So this graph I really use as far as home value growth month over month, and each dot and a data point. One, it just shows you when the market is stabilized. And right now we are actually losing more because last month we didn't lose even 1%. Now we've lost 1%. So rent, I kind of added something to this, tracking where rent should be. And if you notice that nice line from 2015 all the way to 2021, rent was just that nice slope. I mean, you can almost draw a straight line. So I continued that line horribly with that arrow where it should be, and it falls right around 1,600 is where our rent should be. It's also where our mortgage rate should be as well, based on what people make here and what they can afford. So rent is going down. My concerning thing is it only went down like 0.36% or $8, it looks like, down to 2183. This needs to stabilize first, just like you see it did last time where it stabilized in 2010 and the housing market stabilized afterwards. So I need to see this close to that $1,600 graph. And once I see rent from there, then our housing market should stabilize from that. But it is what it is, right? All right, so comparing months to months, homes for sale, yep, we gained some. The solds did go up, but not as much as they should have. Sales pending, that was a really concerning one for me because pending sales usually go up in March, showing that we're going to still have a good April. But when they go down in March, people actually taking houses off the market is what sales pending means. Usually I see an uptick on this, but this was a downtick, but not by much. The big shocking thing, and that's why I put it in bold, the new construction, we gained 90 more homes in a month of new construction, these builders. What are they doing? We got plenty of inventory. Why are they making 90 more homes a month? Another 1,000 homes of builders coming on a year. What's going on? It takes a little longer to sell a home. Our average asking price took a big dip this month down to 429, down from 446. But our selling prices uptick. I did look at that, and with only 1,800 homes selling, which is still a good amount, there was quite a few cash $1 million houses, so that does affect this. But if I keep these numbers always static, regardless of a bunch of $1 million homes sell or not, then that's it's to keep this number so we can kind of track it, not only just month by month, but year by year. And sellers are getting a little less than their asking price, less than they were last month as well. But big one on this one was a drop in pending sales that normally should be an uptick, but the new homes. So my next point is this. What are the builders doing? I wanted to break this down for you. I took a ranking of every metro in Florida. There's like 88 of them, right? And I ranked them from highest to lowest of building permits. These are the top 9. And you can see it says Cape Coral, but it is Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. And it shows you the population on the far right, and it shows you the percentage of open permits. That is new inventory hitting the market. Shadow inventory, I call it. You can't even see them for sale on the MLS or on Zillow right now because they're homes that are coming up in different stages of construction. And anytime you have an uptick, you want to look at home value next to it to see if it's in the positives. Is it at 1 or 2 or 3% of home value based on income? And then are people able to afford it? Are there price cuts? Is it a strong market? And if you look down the line, we are as close to zero as you can, which just tells me that we're not ready for another 12,000 homes to hit our market. The value to income ratio means that homes are 5.33 times the average income right now. And anytime it's and our long-term average is 4. So we are overpriced still, even with these price drops going on. And you can see here about 25% overvalued based on long-term norms. Then the price cuts, and this is thing that shocked me as well. Northport Port Charlotte is going through a big crash. You can see their home values are in the negatives. Their value to income ratio is even higher than ours, and they are completely overvalued. But they were leading the country in price cuts, leading the state, obviously, and the country as well. We just overtook them as far as 37% of all listings are price dropping. You guys, if you're buyers, you're probably seeing those as price drops on Zillow or on your portals that I have set up for you. But that doesn't show a strong market. So are we ready for 12,000 more new homes? Well, the builders don't think so. And Reuters just came out March 25th. I gave you a link so you can read it yourself, talking about how the new home sales have fallen. The median price is the lowest in more than 2.5 years. But what was shocking in the article that really hit me was the rate that the builders are dropping their prices compared to the last time this happened in the crash, how fast they were doing it. So I graphed it. So the blue line, it goes from 2008 to 2010. And the zero is the start of the downturn for builders, not so necessarily for the market, but from builders started dropping their price percentage off of peak. And you can see that the graphs are fairly consistent, but the red graph is right now. This is the price decline since 2023. And we are 16 months into it. But compare those two dots. We are losing about 9% off of peak on the 16th month into our crash. We just dropped 20%. That's twice as fast, which tells me one thing. Builders they know that they got 12,000 homes hitting the market, and they're not selling the ones they currently have. So another 12,000 homes might actually just be more inventory that we gain. So this rapid increase either indicates that our downfall will go quicker and faster, which is great for buyers thinking of buying a home, thus making us stabilize even sooner, or oh, this is going to be the worst crash in real estate history. I kind of show indicators that this is just going to make things escalate and rapidly go down, just like they rapidly went up. So builders are appearing to struggle. They're struggling so much that they're not only just dropping their prices from 490,000 average new construction in the country down to 407, down 90 grand. They're also offering these interest rate incentives. Interest rates right now, as far as when I'm recording this, we're at 6.875, and they're offering 5.5. And Lennar is offering 4.5 on qualified buyers with qualified homes. That would cost you as a homeowner to get an interest rate that much. That would cost you tens of basis points. That means you take a percentage of the loan, and that's how much it costs you. 10% of a 300,000, it's 30 grand to buy down a rate this many points. And not only stopping there, Lennar's offering 15 grand in closing costs. So is Horton. And then what's amazing, in the month of March, Horton actually is offering an additional $15,000 of flex cash, which means come off the price, buy down more rate, get another quarter point, or get it down to 4.99. To buyers out there, these changes are great. But imagine if you bought one of these homes in the middle of March before these extra 15 grand of incentives and that extra interest rate. Well, that's a savings of hundreds of dollars on your mortgage that you would have had just waiting just another couple weeks. So this is why I call this market the market of falling daggers. Don't reach. Just let them fall gracefully. If you're thinking of new construction, we can do the tours and we can think about all these things, and look at, see if there's a model and a builder that you like, and then just let it fall gracefully, because I think their struggle is going to get worse and worse. To owners out there, how can you compete with these incentives? You can't. Unless you have 50 grand burning a hole in your pocket. You can't offer that. But there are marketing advantages you can do to maybe give some of these things. They're giving all of the incentives, but you can give some that are the most important, that make your house be more affordable, that doesn't cost as much money as just dropping the price. So overall, supply went up 2%. That was a weird. Demand only increased 36. was 42 last month, so we're definitely losing on that. And then home values dropped a full percent, but yet homes still cost 40% of gross household income, and it needs to be more in the 20s. But the big shock to me was what the builders are doing right now, and how this is only going to help for buyers out there, be a good sign for buyers, and maybe not as such a good sign for sellers. Because even though you might have a fancy house or have that fence, you're not new, and there's nothing you can do to your house to make it new. So that's something that we have to look at. So again, people are asking, is it a buyer's or a seller's market? It's neither. It's a transaction. It's a transition market. Sorry, transaction. It's a transition market. It's neither buyers or sellers. People ask me, is it a good time to rent? Good time to buy? Well, last month's update, you saw neither. It's not good to do either because they're both too overpriced and they're both dropping. So transition markets are tough to navigate, but if we can accelerate and not wait a year for it to go down 50, 60, 70,000 in price, but get that monthly payment to be the same like it did by waiting for these builders to have these houses fall into your hands softly and get these $90,000-$100,000 worth of incentives, and that's how buyers are going to be buying homes this year. Obviously, my data I put on my PowerPoint so you can see exactly where I'm getting all this data from. I'm not making it up. And of course, I'd love your feedback. I can also look at other areas of the country since I can rank it all by country. I can look at all these graphs I can make within minutes, or maybe 20, 30 minutes each graph. Lately, someone asked me about an area of Montana and another one of South Carolina because they're maybe thinking of moving up there and asking my opinion on that. I can give you data analysis of this. Obviously, if I've never been there, I can't tell you much about it. But if you guys have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, shoot me a text. You got my name and number, hopefully, if you're watching this. If you don't, it's at the end of the PowerPoint right there. And of course, all of this is going to be on LeeCountyMarketUpdate.com. I'm just going to take us out of this PowerPoint for a second and show you the website. I have added a subscribe button. So obviously all my videos get uploaded to YouTube on my channel. This will subscribe you to that playlist, to that channel. And I'm also going to be adding other ones, tips from buyers, tips for homeowners, the spring cleaning that I never got the video out talking about that. That's what I'm going to be doing for you guys. Of course, if you have any questions or anything, you can always reach out to me. It's Ed Zoller, Lee County Market Update for April 1st, 2024. I look forward to answering all your questions and your calls. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.